This is Alan Woods, and you are watching Leak TV. My work in the community is based currently in Cincinatti, Ohio. Got my start here in Indianapolis and definitely started to connect to the community through the poetry scene and just being involved here in Indianapolis. And that just kind of nurtured this thing in me to really start to understand what it looked like to give back to the community. So when I went to Cincinnati about 9 years ago, I actually started to think about how I could take what I learned in Indianapolis to another city. And one of the things that I did was looking at my connection to entrepreneurship. What I could do in that city and understand what the climate was for black people and women specifically who wanted to start businesses in that city, and kind of take some of the things that I've learned as an entrepreneur and embed them into the culture of Cincinnati. And so we're at like year 6 now, started Mortar a couple years ago, and really with the goal of trying to figure out how we can create opportunities for people who look like us in the community who wanted to start businesses, and maybe they had a side hustle that they wanted to legitimize, or maybe they wanted to just figure out how to get their business to the next level. And so through Mortar, we've been able to do that in Cincinnati. When I went to Cincinnati, I was thinking about what are the things that I've had in my life that gave me an opportunity to move forward. And I actually started off as a kid. At 12 years old, I had an interest in photography. I met Gordon Parks, and after I met Gordon Parks, and it was actually at a gallery exhibit at the Children's Museum, my parents went and took me and we bought a used camera. And that was something that, for me, that was my first real taste of entrepreneurship. And I understood in that moment that sometimes, even when you have this dream, you need other people to kind of enable you to move forward to that next step. And so instead of me going to Cincinnati and just starting some type of enterprise that would benefit only me, I wanted to link up with a couple other people there in the city to see how we could help other people who had those dreams and had those goals, and use our gifts, talents, and abilities to help other people reach their dreams and their goals. And so that was how Mortar was born. So I definitely could have gone and been a little more selfish and just say, hey, I'm going to start this business where I'm going to make all this money for me. But instead of doing that, I decided to go and figure out ways to help other people in the community start their own businesses. So the vision for the growth of Mortar is that we've created what I look at as like a liquid. It's a formula that can fit into different communities. There's a lot of cities around the nation that are experiencing gentrification, communities where people are experiencing displacement. And in that process, we are creating this formula that helps people to kind of combat that through being able to become more financially literate, financially aware, and to build their local economy through entrepreneurship. We've created our own curriculum. We're in the process now of licensing that curriculum. And even in the last 6 years, we've looked at ways that we can take that curriculum from Cincinnati and embed it in other cities. We're currently operating in Akron, Ohio, Covington, Kentucky, Kansas City, Missouri, and also in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm hoping to soon be able to come back to Indianapolis and be able to bring everything that I've learned outside of the city back to the city, so that we can help entrepreneurs here in Indianapolis to get those same tools, resources, and access to those connections and that network that will help them take their businesses to the next level. We definitely depend on funding from the community and funding from grants. So how people could help Mortar in this process is, for one, to tell people in your city about the programming that we have, whether it's in Indianapolis or other cities, so that you can bring us there, whether that's to do workshops or to collaborate with other organizations that are in your cities. But the other way is that you can make donations to our organization through our website. And our website is just wearemortar.com. That's WEAREMORTAR.com. You can make a donation right there on the website to Mortar, and that supports our work. This award from Leak, for me, really represents, you know, coming back home and recognizing that great things can start here in Indianapolis. And even when you go outside of the city, you're still always representing the city. Like even on my social media, my name on social media is @JustCallMeAllen, but where it lists my name, it says Allen from Naptown. So I love my city. I'm proud of what is happening here. I see the potential in this city, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to always represent Indianapolis. So, you know, shout out to League Magazine for recognizing the work that I'm doing even outside of Indianapolis, and that is connected to the root that I grew from here in this city.